Shadidi Laser here. Good afternoon. Checking in on my lunchtime walk. I like to get out of the office and relax a bit, collect my thoughts, and regroup so that I can go forth to have an awesome day. This scenery, very refreshing for my mind and my thoughts, and it helps me to regroup. So I highly recommend that you take walks during the day as well, whether you're within an office or you work from home. Get outside, change your scenery, change your surroundings, and it'll allow you to regroup, refocus, and have a much stronger and awesome day. Thank you for checking in to this live broadcast today. We're going to talk about sponsorships for your business, your brand, your side projects. Many of us who may be in different phases of building our side projects or our businesses would sure benefit from gaining sponsorship in some way, shape, or form. So what I'm going to do with this time, my lunchtime, and the time that I use to walk and get away, is to provide some value for you guys. If you have specific questions on sponsorships, I'd be happy to use this opportunity to answer those. So make sure that if you have questions, just post your questions within the comment section, and I can take a look at those and read. Thank you for the thumbs up, my friend. So once again, I'm Shadidi Laser, and thank you for tuning in. Just giving you a little scenery and take you along my daily walk when I'm in the office so that I can relax, regroup, and get back to a greater day. So first of all, let's get a basic definition of what sponsorship is. Sponsorship is the support of an event, an activity, or an organization by a non-affiliated partner of your business or your brand. So sponsorship is typically from without or from outside of your organization. So again, non-affiliated partner of your business or brand. So the key word there is non-affiliated. If someone is not affiliated with you, the challenge, the technique, the skill that you must provide. Charles Gamble, I'll see you later on tonight. Thank you for checking in. We're talking about sponsorship, my man. So non-affiliated. So the key that you have to keep in mind in terms of getting someone who is not affiliated with you, someone who's outside of your organization, your business, your brand, on board, you have to come up with the ways, the techniques to make them know, like, and trust you as an organization, or as in Charles's case, as a professional fighter. Or if you, let's say you have an event that you're looking to throw each year, how do you get your sponsors on board? So I'm going to share with you some key tips. I do a whole lot with sponsorships. I host an annual conference each year that runs entirely on sponsorship, thousands of dollars that need to be raised. I run another organization that needs sponsorships, and each member of that organization doesn't pay for any of the general meetings, the food, so on and so forth. So it doesn't come out of my pocket, ladies and gentlemen. I need sponsors. So I'm going to share with you things that help me. So first off, it's important to understand that sponsorship is beneficial for numerous reasons. Number one, sponsorship is excellent for increasing your brand awareness. If you're trying to get yourself off the ground in terms of building your business, building your brand, sponsorships are a way to leverage basically social proof, which is validation from more established businesses, more established brands, more established campaigns in order to boost yourself up. So for example, if I have a sponsorship with Coca-Cola, and let's say I'm Charles Gamble, for example. We'll use Charles as the example. Charles is a fighter. He has a fight coming up with Shoot Off promotion on June 25th. So if Charles was to gain a sponsorship with Coca-Cola, for example, that puts Charles at a higher level of the game in terms of perception, in terms of what he brings to the table as an overall athlete. So that leads to greater sponsorships down the road, because he's already been validated by a company that has spent millions and millions of dollars in sponsorship and advertising to get their reputation out to the marketplace. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So sponsorships have a great way of increasing your brand awareness, which of course helps you as a key ingredient to increase your brand loyalty, and it helps your potential customers, who ultimately your goal is to get them to know, like, and trust you, which of course will lead to an increase in sales. Using Charles, who is on the broadcast once again. So if Charles wanted to host private lessons with a particular organization, and his website has logos from Coca-Cola, or maybe from Gatorade, or other types, or maybe UFC gym, or other types of sports or athletic apparel, or athletic performance, then when he goes to host a private lesson or a seminar, when that particular venue that he's looking to host it with goes to his website, they see that, yes, he has people on board with him that support his movement. It's all about creating the illusion or the appearance of movement. So some of those things are, you know, subtle ways of doing it. Other of them are more demonstrated, or more blatant is what I should say. So I'm going to share with you in terms of the other side of things. So if you're looking to gain sponsorship, you have to understand the mindset of the people and companies and individuals that you're gaining sponsorship from. Does that make sense? If I'm going to ask for something, it helps to know what will enable me to get the yes that I'm seeking. Nice little waterfall there, little scenery. I'm trying to give you guys some scenery for this lunchtime broadcast. It relaxes me. I like to be around the water. I'm a water sign, so Cancer. So I like to relax and before I get back into the office and crank out some more work. So the people who fund ideas and businesses, because Gary, I'm showing scenery. I'm on my lunchtime walk, and I'm giving you the perspective of what I see on my lunchtime walk. I'm taking you on a stroll with me. But if you want to see my, here I am. Good afternoon. So in terms of the overall perspective, good afternoon, everybody. In terms of the overall perspective, in terms of people who fund ideas and businesses, they all have similar characteristics that I will share with you. Number one, people who fund ideas and businesses, me included, gravitate towards the written word. That means your idea, your game plan needs to be written and documented. Sponsorship proposals, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd like to also point out that within this post, I'm going to share with you a link to fill out a sponsorship worksheet that will help you to improve in this particular area of your game in terms of sponsorship. So right after this post goes live, I'm going to share that link with you. Number two, you need to be able to answer any and all questions regarding your present and near future at least 2 years in advance. So when you're having that sponsorship discussion with your ideal sponsor or a company that, or whether it's the marketing rep or the publicist, you name it, there's different people who handle sponsorships for, especially for nationwide companies. You need to give them more or less a forecast in terms of all the questions that regard your present. How you doing, Tislam? Your present and your future at least 2 years in advance. You don't, the basic questions in terms of how do you plan to operate if you're hosting an event, what are the details, how many seats does it hold, where can the sponsor set up flyers or a table. You need to have those questions answered. The third aspect is if you don't have a 5-year game plan for your event, your product, your service, or your company that you're seeking sponsorship from, use projections. So have an idea. They don't have to be nailed down exactly. And so use projections, forecasts. Think about what you're trying to do and attempt to do. And the exercise that I like to use is just use a real world scenario if everything was to go right, and then come up with the plan B. Does that make sense? So make sure you have your plan A in terms of if everything went right, and then your plan B if certain things in that plan went wrong, so that when you're speaking to your ideal sponsor, you can give them the vision and it can be cohesive and it sounds like you really know what you're talking about, which hopefully from taking on these tips, that will be the desired result. I want that to happen for you guys and girls who are checking in on this. So, and finally, these are 4 strategies or the mindset of people who actually sponsor things, me included. So when people come to me and say, Shadi, I have the next best thing since sliced bread, it slices, it dices, it makes coffee for you and gives you a back massage, I say, okay. When I ask my questions, these are the things that I'm going through in my mind. As I'm asking questions, it's important that you know what in fact you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So I'll give you the final mindset pointer of the people who fund ideas and businesses. They prefer to meet with you in person to discuss your idea. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why it's better to meet in person to discuss these ideas. Just think about this. If you're, like, as I mentioned with the definition of sponsorship, is that it's a non-affiliated party. They don't know you as well as, let's say, someone within your company or organization. So you have to build that trust. You have to build that relationship. You have to establish that. So meeting in person, getting a read of their body language when you're discussing the vision, also being able to discuss your vision in person, given the passion, the energy, that is the most effective and strong way to gain sponsorship. In today's world, we're often hands off, we're often text messaging, we're disconnected, or most of our interactions with people may be through social media. This is one aspect in terms of sponsorship that it is imperative that you maintain a quote-unquote old school approach and meet people in person in order to gain that connection with that particular individual who is the gatekeeper or decision maker for your sponsorship proposal or idea. So again, in review, people who fund ideas and businesses gravitate towards the written word. Get your ideas on paper. Number 2, answer any and all questions. First of all, think about all the questions that you'll be asked and write, well, at least 2 years in advance, put those all down in terms of defining what it is you're looking to accomplish. If you don't have a 5-year plan, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Use projections. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Maybe a question that a person who's looking to sponsor you will ask. I would ask it because I'd like to know if I'm investing in you, in your idea, your product or service, that is going to be around. Just because a investor or a person that you're looking at as a sponsor has the money, it doesn't mean that they want to lose the money. Here's something you have to keep in mind. This is a golden tip here. I want you to see my face for this one. People who invest in your business, your brand, your ideas, they often, when they're looking at you and they see your future and they get an idea, and for them to say yes, it's not necessarily about the money. In fact, it's not about the money. Here's the golden tip, the golden ticket, the golden secret. They are looking to champion you. They're believing in you. They're investing in, it's like you're the horse in the race that's going to win. And if you're able to convey that you're going places, that when they hook onto your caboose, if we're using a train analogy, that you're going forward, you're going in the right direction, then they're going to move forward with you. If when you're discussing the game plan, they have to fill in the blanks or answer the questions for you, or it turns into a consulting session or a mentoring session, you're not going to get the sponsorship because you're not moving in motion to where the person who's sponsoring feels like they're getting in on the ground floor of a great opportunity. I hope this makes sense. I hope I'm conveying this is the secret sauce to landing sponsorship. As I mentioned, no matter what you may know or know about me, there's a few organizations that I run that operate entirely on sponsorship and have been doing so for years and years and years. So what I'm trying to give you is the psychology behind people who actually say yes. People who actually say yes to your sponsorship proposals. But again, if it's not written down, writing is the language that people who invest in things tend to interpret. Words are great, passion is great, but please understand that the written word is very important. Meeting in person is very important, and you should always strive to do that, unless the only exception would be is if the sponsor themselves or the rep themselves from a nationwide company is from another part of the country. This is pretty morbid, but my goodness, there's a duck that passed away, man. Rest in peace, my guy. Man, that's sad. I just noticed that. Anyway, moving forward. So, in terms of your website, so the question would be, Shadi, do I need a website in order to gain all the sponsorship that I need for my events? I'm ducking under a tree here. For my events, for my proposals, for whatever I'm trying to set up in terms of sponsorship, my ideas, so on and so forth. The answer is, it does not hurt. It does not hurt. Keep in mind, in today's world, a website builds credibility. It's a credibility indicator, but I've seen many businesses, brands, people with outstanding and awesome side projects who have a website, but they're missing the essential ingredients. If there is one thing I would like to share with you, is that with your website, in terms of the techie aspects, I'm not going to go and give you a whole HTML, CSS presentation right now, or dissertation would be the better word. But what you need to have on your site, of course, is your About Us page, and tell the story of your business, of your brand, of your side project. I don't expect everyone who's watching this to be a full-blown entrepreneur, because that's not reality. Many of us start our ventures in a basement. It starts off in a garage, and we're working day jobs until it all kicks off. So make sure your website has your About Us page. Make sure that, as far as all essentials, that you have a page on your site called Partners. And the reason why you have partners is because you're future pacing. You're giving your particular sponsor who's viewing the page an idea of what they will receive when they partner and do business with you. Does this make sense? So there's many more things that I can cover about this topic, but like I said, this is just a lunchtime review of sponsorship. And what you will do once this is done, once I hit finish, in about 5 minutes, there'll be a worksheet for you to fill out to help you in terms of surveys, or in terms of helping you put together your sponsorship proposals. And I hope that helps you along. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at hello, HELLO, at MrShadi.com, and I'll be happy to guide you along the convoluted, complex, and complicated road of sponsorship. Once again, I am Shadi Laser. This has been a quick deep dive on the lunchtime walk into the world of sponsorships. I want you to go forth with your business, your brand, your exciting side projects, and do great work. Please tune in. Please subscribe, first of all, to this broadcast for Facebook Live so that you can receive real-world updates, real-time updates whenever I go live again. It can happen at any moment. So I want you to be in tune so that you can participate, ask questions, and gain value from this Facebook platform. I thank you very much for your time. It is the most valuable resource that we can give each other, and I hope I provided you with value. Make sure you like this post. Make sure you share this post, because we all know people who need sponsorships. There's great nonprofits out there. There's great people who have wonderful ideas but don't have the money to get forward. I get it. So I'm here to help. You can email me directly. But first things first, go to this post, click the link, and take the sponsorship worksheet. It is free, no cost, low cost investment of your time so that you can get smarter in this particular area, so that the next time I do this, you can throw out some facts and figures from Wikipedia or somewhere else in order to help us all get smarter from this interaction. Once again, Shad Didi Laser, I got work to do, so I'm going to get back to that. Thank you very much for your time. Over and out.